Comic Boom.
Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Superman issue 17, and, well, time for the truth. Time for the truth. That's what this issue is called. It's right on the cover. And surprise, surprise, right on the cover, Superman's back is to the readership. Doesn't that feel appropriate somehow? Superman's back is to all of us because he just doesn't care either. Time for the truth. Well, this is time for the truth, but there's no truth revealed here. This is all misdirection. This is exactly like Young Justice number 10, where Naomi was supposed to appear, but appeared in the very last issue, but never really made an appearance, other than on the cliffhanger page. This is time for the truth for Superman number 17. There is no revelation of his secret identity at any point in this issue. It never takes place. It's complete misdirection. But look, when you have nothing happening in the comic, you've got to lie to readership. And that's exactly what Bendis does here to masterful effect. Now, what happens in this issue? Well, more bastardizations of the characters that we heretofore have known and loved. So, case in point, it starts off with Superman apparently negotiating a resolution to a trade war above Earth between two warring alien races. Why? I don't know. Superman later tells Lois that he's cleaning up one of his father's messes. I don't know. At no point was it ever revealed that Jor-El actually created a mess. That was the Circle. Jor-El was the victim. Once again, evidence that Bendis doesn't read his own stories. But it is what it is. Apparently, Jor-El, behind the scenes, off-panel, facilitated a trade war that Superman has now resolved in the first 2 pages of Superman number 17. Be that as it may, nonsense, but it is what it is. It goes on. Superman, after negotiating a trade peace between two ridiculously stupid alien races, one of which, for some reason, wants to mention that they want a cup of coffee, which is rather odd, because why would they have coffee on another alien world? Of course, there would be no reason for them to want coffee, other than, of course, all alien races, like all alien people in the DC universe, they all speak the same language, Bendis speak, which makes sense because even in the 31st century, everybody speaks Bendis speak. But I digress, kinda, sorta, not really. Superman then goes down to Metropolis and he speaks to Lois. He speaks to his wife Lois. Hasn't seen her in a while, right? Speaks to Lois, says, "Hi dear, how's it going?" And Lois is, of course, well, you know, she's really having a hard time doing a report. She's doing she's doing a lead story on apparently the contents of the box that Luthor gave her. Now, what did Lex Luthor give her? Well, Apex Luthor. Remember, this is Year of the Villain. He gave Lois a secret because, you know, Apex Luthor, he's been handing out secrets like they're candy on Halloween, right? You don't even have to say trick or treat. He's handing them out. You want a secret? I'll give you a secret. He gives Lois Lane a secret. We don't know what it is. Now, Lois Lane, terrible wife and spouse that she is, she's not even going to tell Superman, her husband, what Lex Luthor gave her. She's just going to go ahead and publish it through the Daily Planet. That's what she's going to do. I kid you not. This is how strong their relationship is. Now, this is where I've been highly critical of how insulting Bendis writes the relationship between Lois and Superman in a very decidedly different way than Rucka does in the pages of Lois Lane, which is infinitely better. But Bendis seems to be insistent on writing Lois Lane like an inconsiderate, moronic bitch. The logic that Lois Lane gives her husband for not letting him know what's in the box, I mean, you have to read it. It's a bunch of Bendis speak. It's all over the place, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Apparently Lois has to remind her husband that, well, you know, he's been through a lot lately because, you know, he lost his dad into the past, and then he lost his son into the future. Apparently Lois herself doesn't seem to care that she lost her father-in-law into the past or her son into the future. Lois doesn't care, but she seems to think that somehow this is really causing a lot of craziness for Superman. She seems to forget that Superman thinks a drunk Superman, if that was even possible, would think faster than Lois Lane on any given day. So this is par for the course for Superman. But this nonsense that somehow Superman has been compromised, and somehow this is why he can't see what Lex Luthor, his arch nemesis, Lex Luthor, the apex predator, the one that is putting the entire multiverse in danger, just gave his wife a secret something in a lead box that he can't see, and his wife has the unmitigated gall and audacity not to tell him what it is. And he's supposed to trust her. He's supposed to trust the same woman who was on Earth for how many weeks and not even bother telling him that she was on Earth and that she didn't know where their son was, and that he was off gallivanting somewhere in space. During which time, had Superman known, he might have been able to prevent his son from being in a lost Earth 3 universe and preventing the aging up, and we could have avoided the mess called Legion of Superheroes #1. That's the type of wife that Superman has. That's the type of person who Superman is tolerating as she refuses to reveal to him what Lex Luthor gave her. Think about that for a second. But this is all about respect. Respect your wife. Trust your wife that she can make the proper judgment call on all this. I wouldn't at all. But Superman does, and this drags out the story. There's the only reason, like any sane person would say, well, maybe tell Batman, oh, by the way, Batman, oh, by the way, other members of the Justice League, oh, by the way, everybody on the planet, the Apex Luthor, who just basically is controlling the entire universe with Perpetua and has already destroyed Earth 19. By the way, that Lex just gave my wife a gift, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm trusting my wife. Can't you? Incidentally, when Superman finally reveals his secret identity next issue, and the world finds out that Lois is Superman's wife, how are they going to react that Superman trusted Lois Lane with a secret like that? But hey, guess what? No worries, Lois Lane is publishing it. Whatever it is, it's something that it can be published. So that's what she's doing. But hey, if that shouldn't bother you. It doesn't seem to bother Superman, of course, because he's so stressed. I mean, he lost his dad. He thinks his dad's a loser anyway. I don't care. Superman clearly doesn't care that his dad is dead. He doesn't care. He's not even defending his dad. He talked about cleaning up one of his father's messes. He thinks the trade war is attributed to his dad. He thinks that the Circle is his dad's fault. It's like, Bendis, what are you doing? What are you writing here? Do you read your own materials? This is craziness. In any event, so now Superman then has this notion. He trusts Lois. Okay, you're going to publish whatever it is that Lex Luthor gave you. He then says he's really been thinking. Bendis' Superman has been thinking. Everybody beware. Stand back. Woohoo. You see the smoke rising above his head. Right, he's been thinking. Superman's decided that maybe Superman is a luxury we can't afford anymore. Think about that. Superman himself, this vast repository of super knowledge and intellect, has decided that maybe Superman is a luxury that we can't afford anymore. Obviously, this is going toward the fact that he's decided that he is going to just plain reveal his secret identity. But he doesn't do that in this issue. Bendis, despite the fact that it's been advertised in the Washington Post and the New York Times, he can't just have it happen in this issue, despite the fact that it's advertised to happen in this issue. The cover of this issue talks time for truth, and we don't get it here. We get more Bendis speak and dragging on and on. So he tells Lois, but off panel. We don't see that conversation with Lois. For some reason, we had to see that long, boring conversation of Lois putting Superman in his place for having the audacity of doing his job and making sure that the thing that my archenemy gives you should be in my hands. But no, he lets the woman do whatever the hell she wants. Whatever. He then takes his cousin. Instead of just having a conversation with Supergirl, he decides to take Supergirl and fly all the way to New Krypton, which is how many light years away, to meet up with Zod, nonsensically, for what purpose? I don't know. He wants to have a conversation with Supergirl on New Krypton. Okay, that's fine. So what's their conversation consist of? Good God, it's just a bunch of yapping nonsense. That's it. Nothing is nothing. He just says he wants to tell Kara something. There's nothing. He doesn't tell her. He just says there's something I should tell you, but I think you should need to know first. And then, of course, Kevin Maguire gets to show off his facial expressions. Great art, by the way. Kevin Maguire is great. He shows off his facial expression, making Kara look like a doofus, blonde bimbo, you know, reacting nonsensically to anything that Superman says, not thinking for herself, saying, okay, agreeing to Superman before he even finishes asking a question. Yeah, and then at the end, he doesn't ask her anyway, and that's how it ends. And we got to come in next issue to undoubtedly find that Superman's going to reveal his secret identity. And it's going to be dragged out all next issue. And for what? These are the words, people. Maybe Superman is a luxury we can't afford anymore. Well, okay. I mean, really. I mean, the world already knows that Lois Lane is cheating with Superman with Clark Kent. She's married to Clark Kent, but sleeping with Superman. So the world thinks she's sleeping with Superman anyway, right? Clark Kent's son is awake. Sam Lane is dead. So as far as if Superman reveals his secret identity, what loved ones is he going to protect? No one's going to go near Lois Lane because Lois Lane's his wife. So his son is in the 31st century. So who's he going to protect? I mean, people are going to stay away from the reporters of the Daily Planet because that's where Clark Kent is. So in Superman's mind, Superman's probably thinking, I might as well reveal the truth of who I am. Because after all, we live in a world where truth is everything. And there should be no more secrets. Which is kind of interesting because we just had an event Leviathan written by Bendis where it was very important to keep all those secrets and prevent Leviathan from releasing all those secrets. But the one secret that should be put out there is Superman's secret identity. No disconnect there at all, is there? Whatever. It is what it is. Guys, tell me what you think of Superman number 17. I give this a solid 4 out of 10. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. And until next time, Comic Boom out.